Alright, so this will be the first of several videos that will sort of help you walk through Visual Studio and a little bit of the Visual Basic language. We're going to be looking at Visual Studio 2015. Again, the computers that we're using in class will be the 2010 version, so this will be a little bit different. But much of the properties and setup and menus all remain the same. So today we're going to kind of look at making a new project and some of where the common controls can be located in the program. So one of the first things you want to notice is in Visual Basic or Visual Studio, there are a couple ways to make a project. One of the first ones is you can go to File, New, and then go to Project. Well, the more common way, the way that I'm going to use it, is simply just hitting the New Project. All right, and hitting New Project, you'll be presented with a New Project window. Now mine's set on Visual Studio C#, which is not correct. Since we'll be using Visual Basic, you're going to come down to the Visual Basic tab down in this left menu right here. Select the Windows Form application, and remember, here you can change the name of your project as well as the location settings. I'm going to set the location to a better setting for this class. I'm going to go to Programming 1 and Example Programs. All right. Again, you need to remember where you set your project file, so that will determine where your project is going to be located. Now I'm going to call this one simply tests. I want to call it, remember our naming convention, last name dot first initial, and the name of the project itself. So mine will be ewu test. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and make. We already have a project named this, so we'll call it ewu test 2. So this will go ahead and make a project in Visual Studio in a Windows Form application using the Visual Basic programming language. All right, so our goal is to make a project that we can mess with the Windows Form, and we want to mess specifically with the Windows Form. All right, so we'll let this go for just a second, and hopefully this should create in just a few minutes. All right, and here you can see we have our Windows Form. Again, this is our Form 1. Again, if you look over on the right, you can see our toolbox as well. Remember, the toolbox contains our common controls, containers, and menus and toolbars. Over to the right, again, this is where I have my properties menu. You can have your properties menu maybe somewhere else, but most of my stuff will be here on the right. Personally, that's where I like to have these windows open. Don't forget, you also have your Solution Explorer here. Remember, if you ever lose your form for some reason, so let's say I exit out of my form right here, I just have to go to my Solution Explorer and double click on form1.vb, and that'll bring back up my form. A couple things you also want to note is that if you want to move this around, so I say I want to move my toolbox around, notice how I'm grabbing it at the very top, and then if you notice there's this little kind of plus symbol that comes about, and I can place it anywhere on my form. All right, now for me, I'm going to place mine right now here, again, right kind of next in between my Solution Explorer and my properties. Again, if we look in properties, a couple of big things we want to take a note of is first the text, and remember text will change the actual text of the object itself. All right, so again, this is our Form 1. So right now our Form 1 says Form 1. And then also remember we need to look at the name. This is our name of the form. Again, you can see here the name is Form 1. Again, remember the text and the name are two different properties of an object. The text refers to what the user sees and what it actually says. The name of an object refers to what the coding will refer to when we actually do some coding here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's make a button. So if we go to our common controls in our toolbox, we click on button. Let's put a button into our program. All right, and then let's also go, and we will also go and grab a label. We'll put a label right underneath that as well. Now again, you should notice here that we have a button 1 and a label 1. If we click on button 1, you'll see here that the button 1 has a text of button 1 and also has the name button 1. Remember, if you change the text, it will not change the name, and then vice versa. You can change the name without changing the text. And same thing you can see here with the label 1 as well. If we go back to our button 1, let's change the text, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So if we change the text of our button 1, let's change it to the word click. By changing it to the word click, you should notice how it actually changes what it shows in the button itself. But if you look at the name, again up here and here, you can notice that the name of the button never actually changes, meaning in the coding, this will still be button 1. Now, let's double click on our button, and the first thing that should come up is you should see our public class Form 1 and our private sub button 1. Remember, the private sub tells you what happens when the button is clicked. And you can see that right here in the button1 underscore click. So that means when the button is clicked. Now, as we learned in class, we know we can make comments by using the apostrophe. So I'm going to write a simple comment here that says, this is the coding for when the button1 is clicked. Again, this is just simply telling me when I click the button1, something is going to happen. Now, clearly nothing is going to happen yet because we haven't done anything to the coding. So this is just going to be a simple, you can click it and nothing's just going to go on. So nothing's happening to this simple button click. But let's change it to where if we click on the button, the label will change. So if we go back to our form, underneath this comment right here, remember coding goes sequentially. So underneath the button1 click, let's change the coding so that we will update the label. And we'll want to update the label's text. So we'll say, since it is a label1, we'll say label1.text is equal to, and we're going to change it to something that's like, say hello or hello world. All right, so I want you to notice a couple things here. One, this is label1. Label1 refers to the name of the label. So remember, here's my name. All right, so the name of it is label1. And notice what we're going to do. We're going to change the text of the label. This is why this label1.text will change the text of the label. We're going to change it to hello world. All right, and then we'll add another comment at the end that will simply say, this will change the text of the label. Remember, comments are here to kind of guide you through the coding. They're kind of explain what you're doing, and it's good to write as many comments as needed until you understand exactly what is going on. So let's run the program. So I'm going to hit the start button. Remember right here, this is our start button to actually run and debug the program. So I'm going to hit the start button, and this is going to run the program. And then we should be able to click on that button click that says click on it, and we should see the label update to hello world. All right, so we'll give it a second to load up real quick. Okay, and then here we have our form. Again, you can see here we have our button, and here we have our label. Now, when I click on my button1, remember this is still button1. The name of it has not changed. It just says click on it. So when I click on it, I should expect to see label1 change to welcome world, or hello world. Sorry. There you go. You can see the moment we click on the button, we change our label to hello world. And this should be reflective of what we see in our coding right here. All right, so again, you can kind of see how the form works in tandem with the coding that you have in your program. All right. And then if you want to stop the program, again, you'll go up here and just hit the stop debugging, and that'll stop the program from running at that point. Anyways, this concludes kind of a brief overview of how to work with Visual Studio, how to make a quick button that changes the label. Again, the important things you want to make sure you take away from this are where the toolbox, the properties are, difference between text and name, and then also more importantly, just how to combine some coding with what you see on the actual form itself. All right, again, make sure you use some comments as they can help guide your coding and help you to understand what's going on.